Hi, I'm Chris Wright, president of Wright Wealth Management Group. Today we're going to discuss Social Security and when is the best time for an individual or maybe a couple to take their Social Security benefits. That really depends on many factors that are out there. We know that with Social Security, that Social Security grows by roughly 7 to 8% per year if we defer that benefit to a later date. You often hear your neighbors and individuals say, well, go ahead and take Social Security at 62. That's always the best choice because you don't know how long you're going to live. That may be true in some cases, but it's not always the best age to take Social Security. You also hear people talk about the break-even ratio, that if you take Social Security at age 62 versus age 66, it generally takes somewhere around age 78 to break even and to be receiving more income if you defer to age 66 or 66 and a half. When you decide what is the best scenario for you, you really need to look at some Social Security calculation software to help you determine what benefits are going to be available for you at different ages and how that can coincide with your income or required minimum distributions for the best time to take the Social Security. Here as an independent advisory firm, we use Social Security software to help us determine as we work with clients and look at several different scenarios as to when is the best time to take the benefits. Sometimes for a married couple, based upon their ages and the year in which they were born, there may be additional strategies that they can use and implement to better their financial situation and to allow maybe one of the spouses' Social Security check to grow. If a married couple has significant assets, it generally will benefit one spouse to defer their Social Security check to age 70 years of age because the couple can actually withdraw additional funds from their investments while allowing one of those checks, the highest of the two checks that could be deferred, to defer to age 70, thus providing additional income for a surviving spouse. We know that when a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse only retains one of the Social Security checks. That check is the higher of the two checks. So as a married couple is doing Social Security planning, they can look at the different benefits that are available at different ages, and maybe the spouse with the lower check or the lower benefit will actually take their check and turn on that benefit, whereas the other spouse whose check is projected to be much higher at age 70 will defer that out. Therefore, if one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse will receive the highest of those two checks, and because they deferred for maybe another 4 years from age 66 to age 70, they actually end up having a much larger benefit. This is particularly a great strategy to use when a spouse has a pension and the spousal retaining benefit on the pension is only 50%. Most spouses and most choices when a married couple or one of the spouses in a relationship decided to retire and receive a pension, the most popular choice in America was for that surviving spouse to receive 50% of the pension benefit. So we know that statistically in America that 85% of the time a husband will precede a wife in passing. We generally know that 85% of the time the husband had the pension. If there is a pension in the family, most of the time the husband had the pension. But we also know that more than 50% of the time the husband chose the 50% survivorship benefit. So let's kind of look at a scenario here. Let's say a married couple, husband and wife, are both 85 years of age. We know that the husband had a $4,000 a month pension, and upon his passing, the wife will only retain $2,000 a month from the $4,000 a month pension. In addition, let's say both husband and wife had $2,000 a month additionally in Social Security benefits. We know that if the husband passes, the surviving spouse will not only lose $2,000 a month from the pension, but one of the $2,000 Social Security checks. So the surviving spouse, and in this scenario we say that's going to be the wife has now lost $4,000 a month in income. So generally, if a married couple can afford to defer one of the Social Security checks to age 70, that may allow that deferred benefit to grow to maybe $3,000 or $3,200 a month. Thus, when in this scenario, if the husband passes away, the wife loses the $2,000 a month from the pension, but only $1,000 equivalent in that scenario from being able to defer that Social Security for another 4 years and gain $1,000 instead of the husband turning on their benefit at age 66 and only having $2,000 a month. Thus, going forward, the wife would have $2,000 a month from the pension and $3,000 a month from her husband's Social Security, thus reducing the total impact from the loss of a Social Security check and half the pension to only $3,000 a month instead of $4,000 a month. And $1,000 a month in retirement can definitely be very significant to help that surviving spouse with their needs and goals and desires of having enough income to maintain their lifestyle during retirement. I'm Chris Wright, president of Wright Wealth Management Group. We've hoped you've enjoyed today's podcast concerning Social Security, but more importantly, Social Security income strategies. When to elect or when to defer that strategy really depends upon your individual financial situation. So make sure that you work with an independent financial advisor to help you determine when is the best time to elect or defer those Social Security checks.